Hey everybody, we're here. We're talking Black Adam review. We're gonna just kind of just full review this.
Yeah.
We'll maybe do a little bit of no spoiler. I'll let you know when we go full spoilers, but it's mostly just going to be a small review, full spoilers except for maybe a little bit at the beginning here. I'm here with Johnny Donuts. Like, comment, subscribe on him. Like, comment, subscribe on me. RLG Cast. All right, let's
Let's do
talk
it.
Black Adam. So it was fine.
It was all right.
It was fine. I liked it.
It's a movie. I didn't mind it. Not
Uh,
not as good as they're saying, but not as bad as they're saying.
I don't think it's nearly as bad as they're saying. I think you're going to be kind of shocked by my score, but it's it doesn't. Okay, the acting was fine.
Mm-hmm.
The action was great.
Yeah.
It was very entertaining. It was nonstop. It introduced a lot of characters I like. It
Yes.
introduced a lot of possible storylines I like.
Mm-hmm.
The CGI was pretty good. I
Yeah.
just think
Better
the
than anything Zack Snyder did.
yeah, the story is very simple, so it's hard for me to sit here and be like, well, the writing wasn't good. I
It's an
mean,
origin story. What more do
yeah,
you want from an origin story,
it
right?
like the writing isn't good, but it's so simple that it's like doesn't need to be good. The story's just like point A to point B
Yeah.
fighting, and realistically, I don't know. Like, what do you want to say anything else about this before
I
we
mean,
really
no, not
talk?
really. I mean, it was there. I mean, I enjoyed okay, let's get this out of the way. That was perfect casting for Dr. Fate. I
Yeah,
really enjoyed Pierce Brosnan's
I think
role.
Aldous Hodge was also amazing casting for
Yes,
Hawkman.
as Carter Hall. Absolutely. He was another one. Yeah, I mean, the casting was good. Like it brought back some other people that you may not have and some other like, there was one person I didn't expect to see. I would at least say two.
Well, we'll let you talk
Well,
about that as soon as we finish this
yeah.
part.
But I
Uh,
mean, it wasn't it's nowhere near as bad as the way they're reviewing bombing it, but it's nowhere near as good as The Rock was hyping it.
oh no, not even close. The Rock was acting like this was like the
The
greatest movie
greatest
ever made.
superhero movie ever made. Like he
Uh,
he was like
my
this is
my
nowhere near Endgame.
my general thing with it is if if we were willing to, okay, wait, let's score it first.
Okay.
I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
I'm at about the same 7-1. Yeah, I'm about the
Yeah,
same. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't.
I think in the grand scheme of movies
This was the Rumble
nowadays,
on 44th Street of the
yeah,
DC.
if you're gonna look at movies like Sonic and give it a 7, then this is a 7 too, right?
It kept me entertained. It was good
We
action.
we both gave pretty decent scores. Like I think 7.2 was for me for Doctor Strange
Mm-hmm.
and Thor, and
Four.
this movie's not much lower than those.
No,
So I feel like a 7 is pretty fair.
in
It's
terms of action, it was about the same as Thor.
it's going to entertain the crap out of you, especially
Yeah,
if you don't know anything about this character at all. It's a pretty
it's a
fun
summer popcorn
watch.
movie in October.
Yeah, I agree. That's it for that. We're going to open up the
Yeah,
table for spoilers now. So,
absolutely.
um,
First things first, it was good to see Amanda Waller back. Viola Davis.
I mean, I kind of feel like she never left. She was there for Suicide Squad
Yeah,
and for Peacemaker.
but at least now you know there's something connecting
She's
everything
the
now.
Nick Fury of this universe.
Yeah, exactly. And finally, pieces are starting to fall into place a little better. What's her name made an appearance too? Jennifer Holland. I forgot her character's name.
Yeah, James Gunn's wife.
Wife. Yeah.
That's how I know her. I don't even know
Yeah.
any of her names. She was there. That I thought that was a really cool scene,
Yeah.
and it doing small things to
Yeah.
connect the universe,
Little
not
threads.
having Wonder Woman show up for the entirety of your movie, but then acting like she's a secondary character,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But realistically, as a DC fan,
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Yeah. They
As
introduced an obscure character too right at the beginning of the movie, which I think she's going to come into play a little later as well in Adriana.
yeah,
She becomes, they'll probably change her name because I don't think they want to call her Isis.
it'll be
But
like Cece.
yeah, so they'll probably change her name, but I mean, you could see the beginnings of that character.
Yeah, and they hint at a lot of things. my my issue is,
This was deep with lore. Let's just put it
yeah,
that way. This
it
was deep
was,
with DC lore.
and it was the smart way to do it. So to me, I'm looking at this as the start of the new
EU.
EU, the new EU, because it's, yes, we got Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, and they are going to be huge factors in this new incarnation, especially since James Gunn is going to be in charge. But
Yes.
I do think this is the point that where we separate everything from that came before it and
Separate
move
the wheat
forward.
from the chaff.
Yeah, and we're gonna go because you're gonna get another Suicide Squad movie for sure.
And Ezra Miller's going to spend 26 years in prison.
Hopefully, Peacemaker's gonna get in more seasons, so I
Yeah.
feel like those first two don't even have to matter into what's happening.
Yeah.
But it's good. Ben Affleck is reportedly coming back for 3 movies.
Yeah.
2 of them will be solo Batman movies, from what I've heard. Cavill is back as Superman.
And it's good because now you have that separation. Like you have the Reeves Batman universe, and that's a separate entity now.
Yeah,
that's its own thing.
Is.
And same thing with Joker. Joker is its own entity. And when Joker came out, it proved that that can work. So they came out with Batman, and they proved that that can work. They can have many different expanded universes now,
which is might be the outlier of what makes DC successful in and catches them back up to Marvel, is that Marvel is completely unwilling to let things happen outside of their universe, because technically the Sonyverse doesn't make any money for Marvel.
No.
So even though they're doing their own thing, it doesn't really count, where DC solo movies are still pulling in money for them, right?
This is a way of doing multiverse movies without mentioning multiverse and without ever the ones shall meet.
Exactly. And I really like that. I think that's smart.
Yeah.
And like I said, it just works. I think The Rock was a really good choice as Black Adam.
This was a passion project for him. He's always said it. This is something
he's always been trying to do it. If you see his
for 10 years,
if you see his casting or his what he looked like when he first won, it's not even the same guy. Yeah, he was way skinnier. He had a tiny little head. But I mean, this is the best way to use Rock as an actor.
Yeah.
Very little dialogue, not a lot of emoting, just being there and
being a badass.
And he does it. And yes, and you can help me out here in terms of comic book lore and stuff, but yes, he did look super badass and super strong, but I do feel like he's a little OP in comparison to what Black Adam actually is.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, Black Adam, he's probably top 5, I would say, in strength in the entire. But Waller said it at the end of the movie too, in the post credits. He goes, nobody on Earth can stop me. Maybe people from other planets would be able to.
So a Green Lantern or a Superman. But I mean, this is where this factor comes in, because like, yes, I saying what I'm saying and you're saying yes, in the comics he does get strong, but when you factor in, maybe it's how many years of training or like building up on this he had, but realistically, when you find out later that his son was Black Adam for most of the time, and then he took over,
it kind of means
like he didn't really Black Adam for that long. And Shazam should be as strong as Black Adam, but he's portrayed as not being that strong.
Yeah. Even though it's the same power, it's the same group. Because what's his name? Digimon, whatever his name is there, he came back as the wizard.
Yeah. And I find that is like where it's throwing me off. Because you're trying to say he's as strong as Superman, but then Shazam should also be as strong as Superman.
Absolutely should.
But in the comics, we do know Shazam is like as strong
as powerful as Superman. Yeah. It's part of that. They can't call it the Team Marvel because obviously, but that's the whole lore behind them.
Especially because his powers are magic and Superman is weak to magic.
Exactly. Mixelpitlick.
Hey, you said it right.
Yeah.
I can never say that.
No. I've been trying to say that for a long time. But I mean, there were a couple little cute nods in there. There was like, I liked that little cameo by Henry Winkler as the original Adam.
You know what? And I love the tossing of
It's
Oh my
not
god.
old, it's vintage.
Yeah. But what's his name? Is it just Adam?
The
Like
Atom.
the Atom? Okay,
Yeah, and
and
he's Atom Smasher.
Atom Smasher. And then what's the girl's name?
Cyclone.
Cyclone. I like the additions of them, but they're very sparingly used. Like they kind
Yeah,
of feel useless to the
because
team.
they're not, these are characters that cannot take on someone like
No.
Hawkman is able to take on a weakened Black Adam. Dr. Fate can take on
Well,
Black Adam.
okay, so Doctor Fate. When we were talking about strongest people, Doctor Fate is definitely up there
Yeah,
because his power is like infinite.
and yeah, and he uses its magic like it's a helmet from outer space, right? It's millions of years old, this helmet.
And with the death of Doctor Fate,
Yeah,
I think you set up the chance that Zatanna is going to show up at some point.
at some point. Yeah, I could
Yeah.
see that. They set that up well. Like, I mean, even little nods, like when they were talking about like they don't have to do a whole explanation. Like if you're a comic fan and they say, yeah, this jet's made from nth metal. If you're a comic fan, you know what nth metal is. You don't have
See,
to do a
and
whole.
I like that because in if you're watching a Marvel thing, they'll sidetrack the whole show to explain to you what that
What the
is.
Infinity Stones are. But
Yeah,
if you're
and
a
it's
fan,
like,
you already know what the Infinity Stones
yeah,
are. We've been calling for the Infinity Stones since you started the Marvel universe, so we
yeah,
know what they are. So don't give us that.
agreed. And this is not a knock on companies or people who don't read comics, but
Mhm.
you're making comic book movies based on characters that have existed for a long time for the pleasure of those fans for the
Yeah,
most part. So Marvel caters more to the casual fan
the
than the
fly by
actual
nights.
comic book
Yeah,
readers, where at least DC is like starting to slowly really stick to the actual comic bookiness of it. And I like that. Where Zack Snyder did not do that.
yeah.
What Aquaman did, Shazam did, Wonder Woman kind of
The
did.
first one did. Yeah,
Yeah. And I like that. So now we're going in. I'm excited to see the new Aquaman. I like the first
yeah.
Aquaman.
I did too. I really enjoyed that. Patrick Wilson was really good.
It was just a good movie.
Yeah, Green
Uh,
Goblin was great in that movie too.
yeah, Green Goblin's good in everything. Um, and just generally, I think this movie is fun. I think a 7 for it is totally
It's
warranted
fair.
because I'm using my platform to give people like tell you what it's a good movie to watch, and this may not be the quality of a full-on 7, but I feel like you're not going to watch it without a
Yeah,
rating attached to it that says I should watch this. And I think the fun factor in it, the watchability of it, is enough
yeah,
to warrant a 7. On top of
yeah,
the fact that for comic book fans, for real DC fans, there's a lot here
yeah.
to enjoy.
And the way they made him portray, the way they portrayed him too, it's the only thing, the one thing I want to take away from this that I didn't like too much was his flipping and flopping. I'm a hero, I'm not a hero. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't care for that at all. I would have preferred if he was just a villain.
mhm.
Because now you're in an awkward situation where your next movie he's going to be a hero, but then you're trying to set up Shazam 3 where they're going to fight each other.
Yeah.
Like
So
I've already heard rumors of this, and like in my own opinion, I already said this. Shazam 3 is going to be Superman Shazam. That
yeah,
storyline where they fight Black Adam.
yeah, I agree. Especially now, like spoiler for the post-credit scene, Henry Cavill return, the worst kept secret, but Henry Cavill returns as Superman to the point
Also,
where he quit The Witcher
yeah.
to do this.
Also, um, the one thing I really didn't like was when he said Shazam and he didn't turn to dust because he should
Yes.
be like 10 billion years old at this point. And I thought that was the whole rule of the powers
Yeah,
that you still age, right? Unless you're in that form.
that's true.
He didn't die.
No.
So how
But
we're
he doesn't, if he's in the Black Adam form, he doesn't age. And he was in the Black Adam form. But they also, in the movie, they also cryogenically froze him when they were taking him to Waller.
okay, I'll allow it. I'll allow it. But I just that's how Superman and Shazam defeat him is by making him say Shazam and then he just turns to
Turns to
dust.
dust. Eh.
So
But then there wouldn't be a sequel.
Yeah, I get it. You're trying to
Yeah.
sell tickets, but I
Yeah.
don't want to find a Justice League team where Black
Yeah.
Adam's on the team. I'm not okay with that.
No, 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 no. But I
Uh,
mean, this could be the Justice League Dark.
okay, fine. Well, great end credit scenes.
Yeah.
Arguably the best we've seen from any movie in a long time.
Yeah.
Especially because Marvel's starting to put their Easter eggy things in the movies now rather than in the post credit. The post credits are
Yeah.
now like nothing. They're like irrelevant to you sitting there for
Yeah.
no reason.
It's like some funny little skit now at the end.
Yeah, which is like
I don't like that. Yeah.
Just give me
But,
more Morbius.
Yeah. Are we getting a second one?
I hope so. I want it.
Matt Smith was the best part of that movie.
I thought that movie was so fun. It was the perfect time capsule of a 90s superhero movie.
It would have tied in well with the Tobey Maguire films.
Yeah, and it was not a well
Executed
movie, but it was absolutely a fun watch. I did not for the whole movie I did not say, "Oh my god, I can't believe I'm watching this."
Yeah.
Which happened to me recently with Spirit Halloween, where the whole time I was like, "What the fuck is this movie?" But
or even as bad as Eternals.
I like Eternals. I think
that is definitely the lowest tier out of the Marvel films at the moment.
For me, it's definitely the first Captain America. I can't let Captain America 1.
Yeah, no, that one was bad.
First Captain America and Iron Man 2 for me are like deep in my bottom.
I like Iron Man 2. I want my board.
I remember watching it in theaters and having such a great time, but like when you go back and watch it, it doesn't hold up.
No, I want my board.
But if for a contained Iron Man story, it gave you a Whiplash, which was like a character you wouldn't expect.
It gave you Hammer Enterprises.
Yeah, it gave you the other suits. Yeah. And it started developing the Tony's like a drinking maniac character.
The first seeds of the Avengers were there.
War Machine, baby.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
that's what we all wanted.
But I digress.
We both digressed. Yeah, I had a good time with this movie.
Yeah, it was fun. It was for what it was. It was fun. I'm interested to see where they're going to go with the second Shazam in this one.
Yeah, because Shazam and the new Shazam and the new Aquaman are both right on our heels. Like, they're about to come out.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited.
They moved Flash though, right?
Flash is now Flash. So I would have said Flash as well there, but like at this point, I don't know what the hell's going on with Flash.
Yeah.
I just listen. I don't like Ezra Miller. I don't support anything he's doing. I hope he goes to jail for the rest of his life. I really do.
Yeah.
But I need this just to hold on because I don't need this movie to get shelved like Batgirl did. I need this movie to come out, and then you can recast him for the next movie.
You can shoot a new ending with a different Barry Allen.
We said this 100 times already.
We've said this.
Make it so when he comes out of his running, he's a different person, and he's like, "Who the hell am I?"
Yeah, that's it. The what's it called? The Time Force changed him.
Yeah,
physically.
He became the Barry Allen of this universe now that he landed it.
Exactly. There you go. See, that works.
Or just kill him and make it Wally West.
Yeah, I'd rather have Wally West or Jay Gardner. There's so many options you can do. That's all.
I hope Jay shows up. Jay Garrick, by the way.
It's Guy Gardner. I'm thinking Green Lantern.
But I'll take Guy Gardner.
Yeah. But yeah, good. I mean, it was fun. Go watch it.
Fun. Go watch it. That's it. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out.